Here with Coach Cori Close. Going into this game against Indiana, 9 a.m. game, what do you do to prepare body clock-wise for a game at that time?
Well, 9 a.m., our body's time, noon there. I think the reality for us is we have a great nutrition staff that has been preparing us. It's just going to be important that we find the rhythms in order to be able to get a good night's sleep the night before. But we practiced every day at 9 a.m. So for us, in terms of the rhythms, that's actually not bad for us at all. But we just do the proactive things to make sure from a nutrition standpoint, from a sleep standpoint, from a hydration standpoint, that we're putting ourselves in the best position. But bottom line, this time of year, it's who's mentally tougher.
Right.
Who does it mean more to? And that's what I'm confident we'll do.
Going into that, kind of the mental toughness, and also you were a little unhappy after the Michigan game. How hard is it to get a team to not play the scoreboard and to play kind of to that internal standard?
Well, it's very difficult. If it wasn't really hard, everybody would do it, right? And that's my job, is to try to get us to make really good choices in that. But the situation for us is that, are we playing our best mentally, physically, emotionally? Are we giving everything to and for each other? And that's where we felt like we all fell short against Michigan. We are not always going to play perfect. We're going to have mistakes, but were we selflessly giving for the sake of the team, and were we giving our very best physically? That's what we have to get back to.
That transition, that point in it was the third quarter where there was that run of 8-0 where it was transition, not getting back to transition. Was that a schematic thing, or was that just what you're talking about, where it's?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was schematic.
Right.
I think we had a lack of effort in the middle third, and vision and strategy, and I think we were getting into our own feelings and playing on islands instead of strategically taking care of our business. We just watched all of them right now, so I think that we all have something to grow from with our transition D, and that's definitely not been characteristic of us, so we got to nip a few things in the bud and get back to who we are.
What have you seen out of Indiana so far?
I think they're playing their best right now. I think it's going to be so important to chase them off the three-point line and to really control the paint for us, so that we're not trading threes and twos. And I think they feed the energy off their crowd, off their three-point shooting.
Right.
And so I just think it's going to be really important for us to sort of hunker down. We always say that other people are going to play to beat us.
Right.
We're competing to be us,
right,
to play to our identity every time, to control the things under our control. And that's what I'm mostly focused on.
And then a few individuals. Kendall seems like she's kind of come into her own of late. What have you seen out of her development, getting comfortable, I guess?
Well, I think Kendall Dudley is such an elite defender. She knows how to make hustle plays.
Right.
She almost always comes in and she leads our team in passion plays per minute. She gets us extra possessions. She creates offense for our team from her defense. And so, and she has a really high basketball IQ. And I think she's gone through the normal ups and downs of the freshman year and understanding what it takes at this level. But she's been really, really good for us. And I consider her to be increasing her role day by day.
What goes into a passion play? Is that diving on the floor for?
Yeah, it's all the things that don't show up in a stat sheet, right? Deflections, charges, out of area rebounds, in terms of the out of area part, assist box outs, maybe you're boxing someone else out, someone runs it down. So we have 7 statistical categories that we track, and she leads us in passion plays per minute.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And then Angela, it seems like from last year to this year, she's improved in a bunch of different ways. Where do you think the biggest area of improvement's been from her?
I think her mental preparation and her consistency. I think she used to really get taken over by her feelings, and actually it was really fun in our film session. She was able to say, hey, I used to really struggle with this. I understand that this is hard, but this is how you can change. And so I think her mentality and her emotional consistency is night and day different. She just is showing so much more maturity, and she's really understanding flow and how she can make her teammates better, from setting good screens to high-low passing to Lauren. Mm-hmm. And so I just think her overall maturity and understanding the more global sense of the game.
And then with Lauren, big development for her, that assist rate out of this world this year compared to where it was last year even. But what do you think's been the biggest change there for her?
Well, a couple things. One is she knows that double team's coming
Yeah.
every time, and two, we've added more shooters, so she's getting rewarded for some of those inside outs. We also are a better cutting team than we were a year ago, and we're a better shooting team than we were a year ago, and that all facilitates assists for Lauren Betts.
And then for Alina, I know screen coverages seem to be a little bit of an issue for her in terms of maybe the communication.
Yeah.
What do you think's gone into that?
I actually think more so. I mean, she definitely. We've really asked her to grow on the defensive end, but more it's, her confidence offensively the last couple of games in terms of really taking care of the basketball and having more command.
Right.
She plays best when she's playing aggressive and depended on, and I think that's sort of gotten in her head a little bit, and we really believe in E and who she's going to become. She's going to be an elite guard here at UCLA, and we just have to help her through this sort of rough patch that she's going through, but we believe in her so much. The screen coverages isn't my most concerning piece, and we just want to get her back to playing with confidence.
How much of that is just being a freshman and kind of going through the ups and downs?
90% of it.
Yeah.
I tell them all the time, all of you are going to want to quit a dozen times and transfer a dozen times in your first year. And I think they nod their head, but they don't think it's really going to happen to them.
Right.
And every time it happens to them. It's a very difficult transition, and it's happened to almost every single player in the program. And you're very rare to not have just this really like, oh my gosh, I've never had to fight like this. But that's also why you grow so much. And I think I really do love them enough. I'm actually stealing this from Dawn Staley. She said, I love them enough to let them fail and work through it with them. And I think I love this team enough to let them struggle so that they can find out what's really inside of them as they work through their struggles.
Awesome. Thank you.